The state of Minnesota, through its Department of Public Safety, requires and offers two separate types of permits related to handguns: the permit to carry and the permit to purchase or transfer. No permit is required for shotguns, rifles or any hunting equipment. The two handgun permits have different limitations and application procedures. You will need to obtain the correct application form and return it with supporting information to either the sheriff's office or local police department. If you only want to make a one-time handgun purchase from a dealer, you will be able to apply for that permission directly at a licensed gun shop. So, we are going to watch about the how to get a gun license in Minnesota.
Method 1. Obtaining a permit to carry. First is obtain a copy of the application.
You can download a copy of the application, titled the Uniform Firearm Application Permit to Carry a Pistol, at the website of the Minnesota Department of Public Safety, available at https://dps.gov, Divisions, BCA Divisions, Administrative, Documents, Permit to Carry a Pistol Application. Alternatively, you can get a paper copy at any sheriff's office. You can find a list of all the sheriff's offices in Minnesota at https://netforum. Avectra.com, eWeb, dynamic page. ASPX, site equals MSAN web code equals MN sheriff list.
Step 2. Complete the application.
You will need to complete the application in ink. Either print neatly or type. You must fill out the entire application form completely, or your application may not be considered. When you complete the application, you will be asked to provide the following information. Personal data. This includes your name, birth date, current address, physical description and any identifying physical characteristics, tattoos, scars, etc. and your driver's license or identification number. Previous residential addresses for the past 5 years.
Step 3. Authorize a background check.
As part of the application form, you must sign an authorization statement that will allow the licensing agency to conduct a background check to verify your eligibility to hold a firearm permit. The Minnesota Department of Human Services, which includes the Department of Public Safety, will check whether any of the following applies. Any of these could disqualify you from receiving a permit. Committed by a court as mentally ill, developmentally disabled, or dangerous to the public. Committed by a court as chemically dependent, found incompetent to stand trial or found not guilty by reason of mental illness. Informally admitted to a treatment facility for chemical dependency, applies only to peace officers.
Step 4. Obtain the required training.
You must satisfactorily pass a training course in the safe use of a handgun within 1 year prior to submitting your application for a permit to carry. The Minnesota Department of Public Safety maintains a list of licensed and qualified instructors, which you can access at https://dps.gov, Divisions, BCA Divisions, Administrative, Pages, Firearms Instructor Locator. You can scroll through the list, or simply enter your zip code in the space provided and search for instructors who are near you. The content, scheduling and prices of the classes are managed by each facility on its own. So you may wish to contact more than one location to review prices and availability. Some sheriff's offices or police departments offer classes. These appear on the list of licensed providers. You may also wish to contact your own local law enforcement office to find out if they provide classes. As one example, the Ballistic Firearms Training Center in Hutchinson, MN, offers classes on an as-needed basis. When 5 or more students request a class, the classes cost $75 and can be taught at their facility or at your own location. If you are within 120 miles of Hutchinson, the training class is generally completed in 1 day's session. The contents of the class will vary from site to site, but it generally consists of understanding self-defense, firearm basics, shooting fundamentals, legal issues related to firearm use and possession, firearm skills, and a review of state laws.
Step 5. Submit your application to your local sheriff's office.
The completed application form must be presented to your local sheriff's office in the county in which you reside. Non-residents of Minnesota who are applying for a license to purchase or carry a gun in Minnesota will need to complete the same application process, but may present the completed application to any sheriff's office. Along with the completed application, you will need to present the following information: your driver's license, state identification card, or passport, the certificate of completion of the firearms training class. If applicable, a copy of any pardon or other order restoring your right to hold a permit to carry a firearm. The application and supporting documentation must be presented in person. You may not submit an application by mail.
Step 6. Pay the application fee.
The fee for a new permit to carry is established by each local sheriff's office, not to exceed $100. The fee for a renewal is also set by each sheriff, with a maximum limit of $75. You should contact the sheriff's office before you go there to find out what forms of payment will be accepted. Step 7. Wait 30 days for your application to be processed. When you submit your application, the state has up to 30 days to conduct the background check, verify the information on your application, and make a determination on your license. You will be notified by mail if your license is approved.
Finally, renew your permit within 5 years.
Your license to carry a firearm expires 5 years after the date of issuance. Within 90 days prior to the expiration, you may apply to renew it. To renew, you must retake the safety training class and submit the same application form as for an original application. The renewal fee is generally less than for an original application. You will need to check with your local sheriff's office for the renewal fee. The renewal application should be submitted to the sheriff's office in the county where you reside. Method 2. Obtaining a 1-year permit to purchase or transfer a gun.
First is understand the regulation.
If you already hold a permit to carry a handgun in Minnesota, you do not need a separate license to purchase or transfer a gun. The permission to purchase or transfer a gun is already included within the permit to carry. However, if you do not already have a permit, and you wish to buy or sell a handgun within Minnesota, you will need to get this permit. In Minnesota, the word transfer includes any sale, gift, loan, assignment or other delivery of a handgun from one person to another. Any of these would require a permit.
Step 2. Obtain a copy of the application form.
You can download a copy of the application form at https://dps.gov, Divisions, BCA Divisions, Administrative, Pages, Firearms Permit to Purchase Transfer. You can also get a copy of the application form at any sheriff's office in Minnesota. You can find a list of all the sheriff's offices in Minnesota at https://netforum. Avectra.com, eWeb, Dynamic Page. ASPX, site equals MSAN web code equals MN Sheriff List.
Step 3. Complete the application form.
You must fill out the application form, neatly in ink or by typing. If you are applying to make a transfer of a handgun, you will need to complete all the sections of the application form. If you are only applying for a permit to purchase, you will skip the first section of the application form and then complete the remaining sections. The complete application will require the following information: dealership name, address and federal licensing number, and date of sale or transfer. This only applies to a sale or transfer of a handgun. Personal data. This includes your name, birth date, current address, physical description and any identifying physical characteristics, tattoos, scars, etc. and your driver's license or identification number. Previous residential addresses for the past 5 years.
Step 4. Authorize a background check.
As part of the application form, you must sign an authorization statement that will allow the licensing agency to conduct a background check to verify your eligibility to hold a firearm permit. The Minnesota Department of Human Services, which includes the Department of Public Safety, will check whether any of the following applies. Any of these could disqualify you from receiving a permit. Committed by a court is mentally ill, developmentally disabled, or dangerous to the public. Committed by a court is chemically dependent, found incompetent to stand trial or found not guilty by reason of mental illness. Informally admitted to a treatment facility for chemical dependency, applies only to peace officers.
Step 5. Submit the completed application.
For a permit to purchase or transfer, you will submit the completed application to your local police department. If you live in an area with no local police department, you will need to submit the application to your county sheriff's office. There is no fee for a permit to purchase or transfer a handgun.
Finally, await a decision on your application.
The police or sheriff's department will accept your application and then conduct a series of background checks and other verifications to make sure that you are eligible to purchase or Transfer a gun. Subject to Minnesota law. You will be notified by mail of the decision on your application. If you are applying specifically for a permit to transfer, you will be notified within 7 days. Method 3. Applying for a one-time license to purchase a handgun.
First is visit a licensed handgun dealer.
If you only want to make a single handgun purchase and do not already have a permit to carry or permit to purchase or transfer, you can apply directly at a licensed gun dealer. You can find a list of licensed gun dealers online simply by searching the internet for Minnesota gun dealers. Quote, you may be able to find some reference sources online that provide links or contact information for numerous gun dealers. For example, sources FFL Gun Dealers Net allows you to select any state in the country and search for licensed gun dealers.
Step 2. Complete an application form.
At the dealership, you will be required to complete a short application form. The form consists of personal information that allows the dealer to conduct a background check. The application consists primarily of your name and date of birth. Some dealers may require additional information as well. If you are concerned, you can call ahead and check with the dealer. If you are trying to find out the application procedure, you can call a dealership that interests you and ask, "Hello, will you please tell me what information I will need to bring so I can apply to buy a handgun? I do not already have a license to carry or to purchase." The dealer is allowed to charge an administrative fee for the background check.
Finally, await a decision on the background check.
The dealer must take your identifying information and proceed with the federal background check. Through several sources, the dealer will notify the FBI, which then checks 3 sources: the National Crime Information Center, the Interstate Identification Index, and the National Instant Criminal Background Check System (NICS) Index. These each contain different state and federal criminal records. The FBI will notify the dealer within 3 days if there is any reason not to accept your application and sell you the gun. If the dealer does not receive a negative report on your application within 3 days, then your sale may proceed. The dealer will contact you and notify you that you may collect the gun.
Method 4. Understanding Minnesota eligibility laws. First is study the minimum requirements.
Under Minnesota law, you must meet certain minimum requirements in order to qualify for a permit to carry a firearm. Within the state, these requirements are listed on the application form itself. If you have questions about your eligibility or about the interpretation of any of the requirements, you can speak with someone at your local police department or sheriff's office. Alternatively, you could consult with an attorney for a legal interpretation.
Step 2. Meet the age limitations.
Minnesota has 2 age requirements for obtaining either a permit to carry or a license to purchase a handgun. You must be at least 21 to purchase and carry a handgun or handgun ammunition from a licensed dealer. You must be at least 18 to purchase a semi-automatic assault rifle.
Step 3. Have a clean criminal record.
To get either a permit to carry a handgun or a permit to purchase or transfer a handgun, you must have a clean criminal record. In some cases, if you have been convicted of a disqualifying crime, you may still be able to obtain a permit if, after your conviction, you obtain a pardon or go through some other legal process to have your legal rights re-established. Specific crime-related limitations are as follows. You must not have been convicted of a crime of violence in Minnesota or elsewhere, unless you have undergone a legal process to have your civil rights restored. You must not have been convicted of 5th-degree assault on a family member. You must not have been convicted of a misdemeanor crime of domestic violence. You must not be an unlawful user of a controlled substance. You must not have been committed to a treatment facility for use of controlled substances, unless your rights to possess a firearm have been subsequently restored. You must not have been convicted of any felony, unless your legal rights have been subsequently restored.
Step 4. Satisfy citizenship or related identity requirements.
For either a permit to carry or a permit to purchase or transfer a handgun in Minnesota, there are several limitations that are related to your citizenship, residency, or general identity. You are not required to be a citizen or resident of Minnesota, but the following limitations do apply. You must not be a fugitive from justice. You must not be an illegal alien in the United States. You must not have had a dishonorable discharge from the military. You must not have been convicted of various gang-related crimes. Finally, realize that there are no permit requirements for rifles or hunting guns. In Minnesota, you can freely carry hunting guns without applying for a permit. The permit and eligibility requirements apply to handguns only.
We hope it is useful to you. Please subscribe to our channel to upskill yourself.